This year, the students at Homewood Middle School struck gold when Kerry Madden moved to Birmingham and enrolled her daughter Nora in our school. The students and teachers feel this has been a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and we consider ourselves very lucky. Kerry Madden was living in California when she wrote Jesse's Mountain, Louisiana's Song, and Gentle's Holler, a trilogy known as the Maggie Valley books. Set in Maggie Valley, North Carolina, a rural town in the Smoky Mountains, the stories are told from the first-person viewpoint of 12-year-old songwriter Livy Tu, who plays guitar and has big dreams of becoming a singer in Nashville. Mountain music and song lyrics are included in many of the chapters. And if you visit KerryMadden.com, you'll be welcomed by Tommy Lunsford's heartwarming mountain music, written to complement the trilogy. A couple of years ago, her publisher asked her to write a biography of Harper Lee, and that's when our good fortune began at Homewood Middle School. The world-famous author of To Kill a Mockingbird is an Alabama author, and Kerry Madden visited our state often as she completed her research for the biography. She took a liking to the South, and soon took a job as a creative writing teacher at UAB in Birmingham. Nora, her 6th grade daughter, joined her mother in the adventurous move to Birmingham, just as she often travels with her mother around the country to speak to school children and lead writing sessions.
Good morning.
Nora became a student at Homewood Middle School, and soon after school started, Kerry Madden was in the media center surrounded by students eager to hear about her biography and participate in writing lessons with the talented writer.
We're here in the library with Mrs. Madden, and she's about to speak to the 6th grade about a biography she wrote on Harper Lee.
We decided that we wanted to purchase copies of her biography, Up Close Harper Lee, and study it thoroughly. We first read the novel To Kill a Mockingbird, watched the award-winning film, and soon began Kerry's book.
Miss Madden's book is not like any other biography. It's fun to read.
I like Miss Madden's book. It's really fun to read.
What's up, Miss Madden? Your book's awesome.
As the year went on, Kerry became a frequent visitor at HMS, especially with the enrichment students, who were studying a different book each quarter. Kerry inspired us as we read another Alabama author, Irene Latham, coming along with us when we traveled to Gee's Bend and visiting us to tell us more about the quilts from this southern town. She even brought her own Gee's Bend quilt to share with us.
When Nell was asked what advice she would give a young writer just starting out, she said, "Well, the first advice I would give is this: hope for the best and expect nothing. Then you won't be disappointed. You must come to terms with yourself about writing. You must not write for something. You must not write with the definite hopes of reward. People who write for reward by way of recognition or monetary gain don't know what they're doing. They're in the category of those who write. They are not writers."
Kerry never missed an opportunity to teach us about the writing process every time she came to our school.
This is what a book looks like before it becomes a book for me. I cut out pictures, I draw, I make up ideas. My brothers played football, my sister was a cheerleader, and I was sort of the babysitter, and whatever book I was reading, I would make them act out. Like if I was reading about orphans, I made them all dress up as orphans. If I was reading about any Little House on the Prairie, they had to dress up, and even our dog was one of the characters. So that was sort of how I started telling stories. And then when I was in 4th grade, I had a 4th grade teacher who told me I was a good writer. And that was the first time a teacher said that. They usually said, "Aren't you a nice tall girl? And don't you listen well?" And so when that teacher said, "You're a good writer," it meant something to me.
We grew to admire and respect Kerry as a writer and a teacher. And we're so proud that she and her daughter were such a close part of our lives. On May 13th, many of us traveled along with Kerry to Monroeville, where she had spent so much time researching and studying for the book. We felt privileged to have an expert among us, and we learned lots of stories about the life of Harper Lee.
Anybody know what the WPA is? Remember that when President Roosevelt put artists to work and did paintings and so forth? Yeah, so anyway, inside is a painting that Harper Lee saw growing up. And so you can go in and look at the painting, which sort of captures the workmen and people, working hard and mules, and it's great. So I just thought you would see that. It's right here.
Both figuratively and literally, we walked with Kerry down South Alabama Ave in Monroeville, stood on the Capote lot, sat in the Monroe County Courthouse, and heard mockingbirds call out to us from giant oak trees in the town square. We sat in the evening under the trees for the performance by the mockingbird players. We imagined the voices of Scout, Jim, and Dill as we read from Kerry's novel, and then visited the old neighborhood. We laughed at her stories, marveled at the fascinating accounts of Nell's life, and imagined that Boo came out to greet us. Kerry Madden enabled us to live in another time, learn some valuable life lessons, and come to terms with some of the enormous issues. We've crawled into a person's skin and walked around in it many times as we have read Kerry's book. Thank you, Kerry Madden, for coming into our lives and leaving us a deep appreciation for the greatest classic ever written in America, To Kill a Mockingbird. The lessons we have learned from Nell Harper Lee will be with us for a lifetime, and we thank you again for opening our eyes to the experience.